You know, it's sad that our elder generation is so jealous or so bitter or so cowardly in old age that they feel in order to get ahead or be relevant again, they attack the younger brothers and sisters. Now, Colin hasn't hit anybody. He hasn't called anybody out of their name. He hasn't stolen from anybody. He hasn't killed anybody. He hasn't raped anybody. He hasn't got out act like a coon. All he did in silent protest say, you know, just not stand up for the anthem. It's just a damn song. D takes a knee because he wanted to bring attention that, hey, there are people in this country, and he's talking mainly about the black community catching hell from law enforcement on unfair laws or mistreatment in this country. Now, he ain't the first black person to do this, but he's the most recent, and he's gone the furthest. And I think he made a lot of people look bad, but now people are bringing up the Muhammad Ali comparisons. And I think people, Muhammad Ali family or people close to Muhammad Ali, don't want Muhammad Ali to be overshadowed or want too many black folk to come into that circus for a long time. When we talk about people standing up, we don't necessarily mention the brothers from the Olympics or Jackie Robinson. I didn't even know Jackie Robinson said what he said about the United States flag until the other day. But people like to use Muhammad Ali as being the only one. And I told y'all there's a reason why they do that. Because what happened was, and when Muhammad Ali was diagnosed with Parkinson's and whatnot, white folks invested in the image of Muhammad Ali, made a lot of money off Muhammad Ali. And also people close to Muhammad Ali, whether it was brief or a period of time in their lives, they could still sell stories about Muhammad Ali. So when I got a message from one of my sons saying Muhammad Ali's wife says, I'm like, wait a minute, his widow says something? But then when I looked at, his ex-wife, I'm like, wow, I'm about to say, because I had my suspicions, but considering what I've been hearing the last few years, now I see why Muhammad Ali widow is the way she is towards his ex-wife and his children, or his son in particular. Now, if you guys, let me take it back a little bit. This woman and Muhammad Ali been divorced for over 40 years. They got divorced in 1976. That means they've been away from each other for 40 years. And this year, even though he died this year, it's been 40 years. Okay? They have a son together. And let me see if I can pull the image up. And let me see. Y'all gotta bear with me for a second. Let's see if I can pull it up. Where he at? This is the son. And he lives in Chicago on the south side, some on the south side, and the brother's been struggling. And the rumor has it that Muhammad's current wife or widow and him don't get along, right along with his moms. And I don't know, I can't get the nitty gritty of it, but you know, I was sitting like, why is Muhammad Ali not even acknowledged? To be honest with you, for a long time, I didn't even know he had a son. Because it was always about his daughters. Every time you turn on the TV, it was his daughters in front of the camera. Then I didn't even know he had a younger son. You know? So I don't know, maybe the women in their household run the men, I don't know. But anyways, that's his mom. And she said his son wants to go see his father. He wants to speak at his father's funeral. I don't know if he did. I don't think he did. Maybe he did, and they just didn't televise it, or it was a private memorial or something like that, not the televised one. But anyways, this woman pops up butt on TV, talking about Muhammad and everything. Oh, Muhammad is and all that stuff. But y'all ain't together. Something had to happen for y'all not to end up being together. Now, we know we heard Muhammad got a wonder eye. That means he's not perfect. But we all know that Muhammad didn't go to Vietnam. And a lot of people say because his religious beliefs and because he was a black man in the 60s. Also, Muhammad was scared. There's nothing wrong with a minute that you scared to go off with. When I joined the military, I was scared. I didn't want to go to Iraq, but I knew that was the part of the job that I took on that. And more than likely, I might go into a combat zone, and I might not make it back home. But because of Muhammad being around Malcolm, being behind other members of the Nation of Islam, he learned how to answer questions. He gained some sense of perspective. And he said, Viet Cong never called me a nigga. And a lot of people latched on that, black and white. When they said he wasn't a real American, a real patriot, Muhammad Ali kept doing what he kept doing. Now that takes some courage, but at the same time, we got to quit romanticizing that era to a certain extent. Because once Muhammad Ali got back in the ring, Muhammad Ali went back to doing what he was doing, did best, bragging, saying things to people, not apologizing to people he had insulted. But because they found out they thought he was just punch drunk. But when he had Parkinson's and he couldn't do the things he did, couldn't brag, Muhammad Ali's whole tone changed, even before his voice was gone completely. Muhammad Ali was not as political as he was when he was a lot younger. Maybe it affected the way he thought, where everybody said his mind was still sharp and whatnot. Could it have been an influence of his current, was widow? Or could the real Muhammad Ali personality have been shown? But people around him want to sell that image to the black community, that he was just great guy. And I'm not saying he didn't have an influence. But there are other people who have come along and tried to step up or do that, and the media shoots them down, and then somebody close to Muhammad Ali said, well, he ain't no Muhammad Ali. Nobody never said he was. People said that he was probably influenced by Muhammad Ali, or he could have just been influenced. Colin could just influence himself. He's not doing the same thing that Muhammad Ali is doing. He's not out there giving these interviews, saying certain words. He just is calm. He said, I'm going to just take a knee. But some of our people think that because he had one white parent, one black parent, or he was adopted by two white folk, he can't understand. Now, if we was talking about President Obama, then I probably get it. See, Mr. Obama's mother took him over the globe. Then he came back and was raised by his grandparents in Hawaii. He wasn't on the mainland. There's a difference. Colin was still here in the United States. I come to find out Colin said him and his parents went to a hotel, and the guy looking like, what are you doing here? What do you need? Not knowing that those people was his parents, or he's with the white couple. I'm pretty sure Colin heard a lot of nigger jokes or a lot of things, or got called things in school. That's not negating that Muhammad Ali didn't experience racism. That's not saying that he didn't have to fight racism. But I think the people who close to Muhammad Ali, who actually was there, are trying to make a profit off Muhammad Ali's legacy. And then now anybody like they about to come along and be right behind him or be next to him, they don't like that. And that is my observation. Because everybody came out praising Muhammad Ali before he died and after in death. He ain't the first black person or the only black person that's spoken out. Now, we can honestly say that the recent black athletes the last 30, 35 years ain't said shit because they've been cowards. And I think that's probably some embarrassment too, that for 20 years or so, we called people who are black mixed ethnicity, we don't call them really black, and they've come out and called out injustices. Jesse Williams came out. Now, I had a criticism panted to an element of the black female, but that's the only issue I had with him. People was on social media like, well, you know his mom white. What they got to do with him speaking up? He still have experience as a black man. He's even married to a black woman. That still wasn't good enough. Now people saying, well, Colin only is pro-black because of his black girlfriend. Regardless of the reason, if she influenced the way he take, or maybe this has always been there. Maybe he felt that's time to say something. They even showed this one on social media, said his social media images have changed. They said last year, they said it started to change. Maybe he kept watching the news and started saying enough is enough. But y'all don't give a brother credit where credit's due. But Muhammad Ali's ex-wife sat there, and I'm going to read what she said, and it rubbed me the wrong way, because it's these older Negroes that do this. And it seemed like black women, not all, let me say this again, not all, want to get out and embarrass black men, regardless if you think that he's not 100%. There's no such thing as 100% anybody. This old bitch that kept her ass set down. I don't give a fuck who her kids are. You need to pull your moms aside and tell your mom to shut the fuck up. But let me read this to y'all. Muhammad Ali's ex-wife doesn't support Colin Kaepernick's protests. Colin Kaepernick's pledge to take a knee during the national anthem in protest of police brutality has the country split. To some, his actions are unpatriotic. To others, he's demonstrated activism to his finest. But siding with the latter is Muhammad Ali's ex-wife, Kali Camacho Ali, who insisted Kaepernick's action was unheroic and should result in a public apology. Bitch, are you kidding me? What he's doing right now is not heroic, Kali told TMZ Sports. I would love to meet with him and talk to him on the phone to help share his message in a better way. Huh? Kali, who was married to the late boxer icon from 1967 to 1976, doesn't have a problem with what he's choosing to speak up against, but more his methods of bringing attention to a larger issue. So let me get this straight. Muhammad Ali did the same thing. They go to Vietnam War. So if you're going to call what this brother is doing unpatriotic, unheroic, then wouldn't it be that Muhammad Ali was unpatriotic as well? When it's time to come out, other brothers were going off to fight in Vietnam. What made him so much different? Muhammad Ali hid behind his religion. I'm pretty sure there were brothers who were Christians and whatnot. They want to go over there and fight in Vietnam. So if you're going to call this brother not heroic, then Muhammad Ali wasn't heroic. Now I know people going to sit there and say, "Oh, that's black me. How you going to say Muhammad Ali was?" No, seriously. Muhammad Ali spoke. Just like Colin is speaking. But Colin didn't go out there and antagonize the people and say all this other stuff. He said, "I'm speaking up for my people." Now, what it is, y'all mad because a quote-unquote mixed-ethnicity black person is doing it. Y'all not doing it. I helped I helped Muhammad decide whether he was going to the army or going to jail. When we were here, it was people in the Nation of Islam too. When they tell a story, you might have been there, but see now Muhammad ain't here no more. See, this is about now she's gonna make it like she the one. See, let's prove my point. They want to be a part of a story. He listened to my every word, Kali said. She attributed Muhammad Ali's decision to refuse to list the army to good decision making. You see the impact it had on our nation? No, it didn't, because it's still brothers going in the military. Wars haven't stopped. She continued, Colin could absolutely have the same impact if we make the right decisions to really make a difference. So in order to correct the situation, she has a couple of solutions in mind. The first thing I would ask him to do is buy a stance on humanity. Here go that humanity shit, see what I mean? I told you, that civil rights aid. What exactly is he trying to improve, and how is he going about to make that happen? Next, I have him make a retraction for his actions against the American flag. He needs to apologize. She's a coon. She's a coon. He didn't do this against the American flag. That flag has been used to vilify people in this country and around the globe. Did she make any comments about Donald Trump? Has she criticized President Obama? Has she criticized him? No. I'm telling y'all, these old civil rights head motherfuckers don't want nobody younger than them to outshine them. And the thing is, when people talk about Muhammad Ali, they don't mention her. They don't say Muhammad Ali's ex-wife was the real reason why he didn't go to Vietnam. They just say it was religious, but part of his religion and part of he was afraid he was going to get killed. Just keep it real. He needs to apologize. See, this is what gives white folk, and then people say Muhammad Ali's ex-wife even criticized him. But Kaepernick doesn't have to do it alone. I would help him meet the groups that will fight with him. Donations, charities of all people, not just minorities. It's a coon. That's probably why Muhammad got rid of her ass. She said, not just minorities. Why is it that we always got to be inclusive of everybody else? That's the whole point of brother taking the damn knee, you stupid Bob Hope looking bitch, you. If he wants isolation to end, he needs to prove that he cares about all people. He never said that he didn't care about nobody else. And not just his people. His people is black people, you dumb cunt. If he's willing to get off his high horse and humble himself, we could do a lot good together. Now this bitch looking for, she trying to get in. She said we can do good together. While Colin silent protest has picked up steam in the last 3 days, he has vowed that he will go a step further in order to correct the ongoing injustice throughout the country. He also pledged to donate his first $1 million in earnest to charity. I'm planning to take it a step further. I'm currently working with organizations to be involved and making sure I'm acting in these communities, as well as donating the first $1 million I make this year to different organizations to help these communities, help these people. Colin said during a post-game brief on August 29th. So this Bob Hope looking ass old ass bitch decide that she wanna cut Colin's throat by going to the press and basically making like he did something against white folk in this country. He's not a terrorist. He didn't make fun of veterans. He ain't raped nobody. See, this is why she's an ex. And this is why some brothers got issues with our women. This bitch like Bob Hope, like Bob Hope, little girl. Stop romanticizing everything Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali stopped. He sat down to do this, and all of a sudden, he become this icon because he couldn't speak to anybody anymore. Y'all keep talking about what Muhammad Ali was such a great thing. It was great for Muhammad. Y'all quit remember. I hear people, you pull out Muhammad, but if y'all look at Muhammad the last years of his life, Muhammad's whole stance changed. Well, you know what? We gotta help everybody. That's what his widow said, and now his ex-wife is saying. So that means the shit he was saying back in the 60s, that was just for show. But I think that what it is, but he ain't here to speak for himself, so everybody want to jump in, want to be a part of history. Why are y'all attacking Colin? The brother ain't get nothing, nobody. Just say, hey man, I just can't stand for that flag, man, or that national anthem. I just can't do it. I mean, the bitch sit here gonna throw another young brother under the bus. See, this is why our community, see, sisters, this is why a lot of brothers, and I'm not saying all, but a lot don't trust black women to have our backs. This is an old one too. This is an old bitch that's doing this shit. Somebody ask you a question. I mean, first of all, who would go ask her, give her opinion? Would it make sense to go talk to his widow or talk to any of those guys that knew Muhammad? But then they said, well, she was married to him at the time, so she was there. But still, she could have easily said, you know what? I don't have anything to say. You know, it is what it is. I respect him for taking a stand, but she's critical of him. I mean, how dare this old woman sit here and pull this shit? But see, I'm not sure. It's always a Negro doing this shit. Worry about your family. Don't sit here. See, this what bothers me. Everybody's cheering Muhammad Ali. And this is how you tell when you're dealing with hypocrites and racists. They do this with Dr. King. When Dr. King was alive, he was a nigger. People wished him dead, wanted him dead, tried to kill him on multiple occasions. When he died, people was cheering. He brought the nigger. Martin Luther King is dead. When Muhammad Ali was alive back then, people was calling him an unpatriotic nigger. He need to die. All kinds of shit. Ali's getting death threats, all kinds of shit. And it wasn't until people found out he had Parkinson's and he couldn't speak anymore They said he's not less of a threat. He's not going to be running around like Jesse Jackson and some of these older those guys in his age group. He ain't going to say nothing. We ain't got to worry about him. We'll go give him some awards, tell him how much we love him. White folks, all the photo ops, white folks around him. Notice Muhammad Ali was surrounded by white folks at the end of his life. Those years he was dying. Let's just keep it fucking real. Him and Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal's my little brother. All that shit he's talking to. I be watching black folks. Y'all romanticizing him. Even his daughter was pouring salt on Floyd Mayweather a few years back, making fun of him not being able to read. See, we keep giving Muhammad Ali, this family and them, a pass because of the 1960s. But when you look deep there, I guarantee Muhammad Ali didn't want to go because, hey, I ain't dying for nobody. Y'all keep throwing that shit in people's face. Well, he didn't get it because he didn't want to kill another person of color. And y'all ball into that shit. It's more involved than that. Just say, if it was his religious belief, one thing, he still could have went and bought a uniform and didn't fight and battle. They could have easily said, I'll put the uniform on, but I ain't going there and fight no Viet Cong. There's a lot of things that he could have did, but he did this. We acknowledge it. We say he stood up for himself. We give him his respect. But over the years, stuff started coming out. Things, you sit there and you're like, well, 1960s, okay, yeah. Remember, he betrayed Brother Malcolm. He even admitted it. I wish I could go back and apologize to my brother. He threw Malcolm under the bus. And yet, in the black community, we're supposed to love and revere Malcolm. When he started having medical problems, he started hanging around more Caucasians. Let's just keep everything true as a photo. Caucasian. Little kids that even never saw Muhammad Ali fight. We love him. He's the champion. He's the greatest. Then you get his Bob Hope looking ex-wife come up here and she gonna pour salt on the brother. Got a lot of motherfucking nerve. Now, as y'all can see that I have no sympathy or no respect or love for a black person that throw another brother or sister under the bus. I can see if Colin got up and cursed out the country. He didn't even do it with her ex did. He did his aside. He said, look, this is what I'm bringing a voice to people. He donated money. He said he's donated $1 million. Now the problem is people want to be in the history books. People want to be seen. People feel that, oh, this nigga, he making it bad for all us other black folk. She made this about her. All these years, she ain't never said shit about nothing as far as I can recall. Because nobody took her serious because they never respected her. Oh, she's the ex-chick. Remember, Muhammad and her been divorced for 40 fucking years. 1976, they were still in bell bottoms. Barry White was still popular. Cocaine was a recreational drug. You don't come out and criticize the black folks out here killing each other. You don't criticize the black folks out here acting like fools. You criticize the brother because what? Because he has a white mama? That's what it is. Notice the sisters come out when the black man either got a white mama or best with a white woman and then start criticizing. What this brother did was honorable, and you got Negroes cutting his throat. It's like y'all got a chip. If you ain't dark skinned, if you ain't saying black power, you ain't got no dashiki on, you ain't hotep, don't you say nothing. That's why we always fight these battles by ourselves. A Bob Hope looking ass bitch, go sit your ass down.